Another crazy game. Oh, so Atlanta's 0-2 and the Rams 1-1. And now that they actually got on the right track and won the game. Derek. Arizona won 29-23 against the Las Vegas Raiders, which was a crazy game in Las Vegas. The Las Vegas Raiders fell to 0-2. Arizona Cardinals were actually fortunate to get to 1-1. The Raiders, I don't know what's going on with their offense. I have Derek Carr in fantasy, and it's kind of crazy because he's not helping me out at all. He only hit Devontae Adams for two catches, 12 yards. He got a touchdown, but he was pretty much held in check the whole game. Hunter Renfrow, he got a couple catches towards the end of the game trying to solidify the game in overtime, but he fumbled in that the fact that he took it back to the end zone. I'll get to that in a second, but the fact that the Cardinals were able to come back and score a touchdown, and they just it was even worse because they needed 8 points to actually take it to overtime. And there was a 2-point conversion play where I guess Kyler Murray held the ball for about 20 seconds during the play, ran 82 yards in length, the length of the field to try to score this 2-point conversion, and was actually able to score a touchdown and a 2-point conversion to tie the game and take it to overtime for the Raiders to actually get the ball in overtime. And it got to the Hunter Renfrow thing, and the Hunter Renfrow actually got hit by Isaiah Simmons and he fumbled. Byron Murphy picked up the ball, took it to the house, like a 60-yard fumble recovery to the house in overtime. So the Arizona Cardinals stunned the Raiders at home in their house in a miracle comeback victory. It was crazy after the game too, because I guess Kyler Murray had a friend in the stands right there, and kind of would have been the black hole back in Oakland, but it was kind of like just the area where I guess the famous or the richer people got to sit, the more expensive tickets were. So he went to go side to his homeboy, and I guess one of the Raiders fans reached from behind him and slapped him in the face, and they pointed him out and caught him. They were showing him all day on camera, so I'm assuming they caught him. And they're probably going to either ban the person or, they're trying to put an assault case on him, so they're probably going to sue him or some kind of crazy shit. But man, it's unfortunate for the Raiders. It's unfortunate for that fan. And Arizona actually gets back on track with a 1-1 win. So I think every team in the NFC West right now is 1-1. So it's all even there. And the Raiders, man, 0-2. The NFC, man, the AFC West, a lot of those teams, are kind of struggling right now. I think the Chiefs are 2-0. The Broncos are 1-1. The Chargers are 1-1. And the Raiders are 0-2. So yeah, it's still close. I mean, it's still in the beginning of the seasons, but the Raiders need to get it together. Texans, 1-1, a loss to the Broncos, 16-9. It was not the prettiest game. Rest in the offense is still struggling out there with the Broncos. Excuse my language. Jerry Jeudy got hurt. There is still a running back split between Javonte and Melvin Gordon, which is kind of crazy for fantasy owners. If you have either one of them, it's probably shitty for them because it's like an even split, but the person you want to get the touchdown or a major pass, major run is not who we want. They split it up some kind of crazy. I'm happy. I got Cortland Sutton as one of my main receivers. And it just kind of sucks when there's not many weapons out there to defer coverage from Cortland Sutton. You see Russ kind of just forcing the ball up to him. The clock management has really been bad with Nathaniel Hackett, the first-time head coach that got over there from Green Bay, to be this first-time head coach over with the Broncos. So it's still looking ugly. They barely beat the Texans, which is crazy. They expected a lot more from the Broncos. There's not much I really want to say about that game, but Russ needed to get it together because he got booed last week by the Seattle fans at home. And he's struggling against the Texans. It's only a matter of time before the Broncos fans be booing too, because they gave you all that money to be their quarterback and you ain't showing nothing right now, player. You got to get it together, play it. Next game, 17-20. The Cowboys stunned the Bengals 20-17. Cooper Rush came out there and stood tall, 19 for 31, 235 yards and a touchdown. Him and Noah Brown had a connection. You know what I'm saying? Him and Noah Brown probably throwing it to each other, as backups with the second string so much in practice that they're like, oh yeah, it's the number one connection that I got because, even though CeeDee Lamb and Dalton Schultz need the ball, I'm throwing to Noah Brown most of the time with the seconds, so that the twos, you know what I mean? So this is who I have the most connection with from practicing with them so much. But I get it. I'm sure Cooper Rush can go out there and be as serviceable as Carson Wentz or as serviceable as who's the other quarterback over there for the Giants? Daniel Jones, you know what I mean? He's as good as them. So if that defense keeps playing the way it has been playing, was able to shut Joe Burrow and the Bengals down, the Bengals are 0-2. It's just crazy. That offensive line that they spent so much money on, they stole Alex Kappa from us. You know, you should have stayed with the Bucks. You know what I'm saying? If you're gonna go over there and be trash, him and Lyle Collins both are big time acquisitions over there in free agency, and they're still getting crushed. Joe Burrow's on track to be the most sacked quarterback in the league again. And he just came off a knee surgery. So it's like, come on, now, y'all got to protect him. Chase is not going to be able to get the ball. Mixon's not going to be able to run the ball if that line is not showing out. They already got problems like that out there in Pittsburgh in the same division. You know what I mean? So, yeah, it's looking like Lamar Jackson going to run away with that division if the Bengals don't get it together. Like I said, the Bengals are 0-2. The Cowboys moved to 1-1. And maybe Cooper Rush can hold it together. I think the Cowboys' schedule isn't really that hard this year. So if Cooper Rush can be serviceable, and they're saying that Dak Prescott may come back sooner than later, so maybe he can hold it down enough for the Cowboys to be in a good position to actually do something. Next game, Bears lost to Green Bay 27-10. The Bears are still in rebuild mode. Obviously, they have no kind of offense. The Green Bay defense just pretty much shut them down and made a mockery of them. The running backs are pretty much the talk of the Green Bay. Aaron Jones had 15 rushes for 132 yards and a touchdown. He had 3 catches, 38 yards and a touchdown there. Sammy Watkins actually showed up for Aaron Rodgers. He had 3 catches for 93 yards. But yeah, man, it's not much to talk about. The Packers still own the Bears at this point. It's still going to take some time for the Bears to get good. Justin Fields had some good moments, but there's still, a lot of work to do on that team, and don't expect anything anytime soon. But just stay in there, bruh. Bears fans, I know you guys are loyal, and there'll be brighter days around the corner. Who knows? Aaron Rodgers might retire next year. Could be good for y'all. Titans lost to the Bills, got demolished. One of the last games of the week on Monday Night Football, 47-7. There's not really much to talk about in this game. It's just an ass whooping all around. The Diggs and Allen connection, Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs are looking unstoppable right now. Stephon Diggs had 3 touchdowns in the game, just killing. Josh Allen was doing Josh Allen things. I don't have his numbers, but just know he dominated 47-7. I think the backup was in by the fourth quarter, because Josh Allen just got out of the game. Derrick Henry only had 13. He had 13 rushes, but only had 25 yards. He scored a touchdown, which probably saved a couple people's fantasy days, but it's not impressive at all. He's not looking the same after that surgery since he's came back, and it's looking kind of wild for him right now. I'm hoping that he can get back to his old self, because I do have a soft spot in my heart for running backs. And they're just tossed around and tossed out of the league like they're nothing after they're used and abused for so long, and that makes me sad, man. I like Todd Gurley. I always go back to Todd Gurley because he was one of the dopest running backs I've seen in a while, and we just forgot about him. Le'Veon Bell, we just threw him to the side. They wouldn't do that to no other position, but these running backs, they just forget, use and abuse and forget. So I don't want them to do that to Derrick Henry. He's actually been in the league for a while now, and he's kind of an older back. So just a couple of years of drop off, and they'll be ready to replace him. But yeah, the last Monday night game, which was a little bit better, not much. The Vikings lost to the Eagles 24-7. And yeah, it wasn't really competitive at all. Jalen Hurts had a really great game. We're really seeing his development. He went 26 for 31, 331 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception, and 2 rushing touchdowns, which was kind of crazy for me. I have him in 2 fantasy money leagues. I had him as my quarterback in one, and I was playing against him in one. I was winning by 20 points in the game where I was playing against him, and I had A.J. Brown, so I thought I had it in the books. But those rushing touchdowns and throwing it to Devontae Smith, bruh, you fucked me over. Especially, I mean, I get it. You wanted to make sure you knew or let, Devontae Smith know that you weren't going to just target A.J. Brown, your best friend, every game, and you are going to get your catches and stuff like that too. But goddamn, don't be so good. I'm just playing. Be as good as you want to be, because you're going to win me my league if you keep being that good. But last week in particular, in my best of bias fantasy league, which I'll talk about in a little bit, it caused me to go 0-2 because he was doing so well in the league that I was playing against him in. You couldn't just, A.J. Brown did get his yards, but it was more so, he was looking at other people. Quez Watkins had like a 50-yard touchdown. I'm like, God damn, why don't you throw it a touchdown pass to A.J. Brown? You could do all the touchdown throws you want to A.J. Brown, but throwing it to all these other players ain't gonna work for me. But the Eagles are looking good. Their defensive line, their cornerbacks. Darius Slay had 3 interceptions. Kirk Cousins, for some reason, kept forcing it to Justin Jefferson. I don't know what the team has in this contract to say you have to throw it to Justin Jefferson 17 times in a game, but you have other receivers. Irv Smith was looking good out there. Adam Thielen was actually looking good as well. use other people. I mean, because everybody's going to key in on Justin Jefferson, either double team him or put their best corner on him. And if they know you're forcing it to him, and especially if the line's not good enough to stop a good pass rush, you're not going to have time to let them maneuver and get open. You're just going to be throwing up balls. Like, Darius Slay should have had 4 or 5 interceptions, but he only caught 2 of them. You know what I mean? So it was that bad for Kirk Cousins. And they had his number, so hopefully next week he can recover. Week 1 they had him looking like gods out there in the next football, the NFL champions of the world. Justin Jefferson having 180 something yards just out there playing with people. But now the people see that in film and see that you're force feeding them the ball, they're gonna play them a different way, especially in red zone coverage. Red zone, situations. I don't know. You just got to be a little bit smarter about what you do and where you place the ball. They've been giving you a lot of money. You're like one of the most paid quarterbacks in the league, bro. You got to be way better than that. People are still not ready to give you your credit. And as long as you keep making mistakes and having games like that, they're not going to give it to you, bro. So, I mean, who am I? I'm just saying, do what you got to do to get better, bro. You got Skip Bayless disrespecting you on TV every day. You know what I'm saying? You got Shannon Sharp looking crazy for picking you to go to the Super Bowl. Did I even talk about Dalvin Cook? 6 carries for 17 yards. When's the last time Dalvin Cook had 6 carries for 17 yards? That's atrocious. You know what I'm saying? They shut them completely down. So the Eagles are looking scary. Eagles moved to 2-0. Vikings are 0-2. And the Titans, like I said, fall to 0-2. And of course, the Bills are 2-0.